Their name from that yellow patch on the top of their bills. Those birds mate for life, and there is a mated pair here in the forest. Keep an eye out, you might be able to see zebra. Not related to them though. Their closest relative is actually going to be the giraffe. They have similarly shaped skulls, and they also have the same kind of tongue. Long, blue, and prehensile, meaning finger-like so they can grab onto stuff with it. Right-hand side, tan-colored antelope, the greater kudu, and the second largest antelope on the reserve. They stand at about 5.5 feet. Right-hand side, that's a hippopotamus. Also pink-backed pelicans. Now, the pelicans don't look terribly pink. They kind of got a white-gray thing going on. But around mating season, the feathers on their backs, as well as around their faces, will really start to develop that pink coloration. It's kind of like they're blushing. And hippopotamus actually means river horse in Greek, from hippa and potamos, down tree, which makes sense. It kind of looks like it has its roots sticking up in the air. That's on purpose. They don't grow leaves for about 9 months out of the year. There's cheetahs, those sorts of things. The slowest animal we could reasonably find today would be something like that giraffe. And they are still pulling top speeds of about 30 miles an hour. By the way, it's a lot faster than you. But those speeds really only make sense in a place like this. Pretty flat, not a lot of stuff to run into. Probably about 12 feet tall at this point if I had to take a guess. Now, how can I tell that these are specifically Hartman's mountain zebras? The richer you are. So if you're ever hanging out with the Watusi tribe and they have a lot of those cows in the front yard, go to that house for dinner, they're loaded. We're coming up on some fallen trees now. This is a good sign of African elephant. Quick way to tell is by looking at their ears, kind of shaped like the continent of Africa. Not named after that though. I'm always mystified by an elephant's trunk. It's about 100,000. They have more muscles in their trunk than we have in our entire human bodies. Makes it strong enough to knock down trees, but also gentle. A life-saving amount of water. Those elephants know about it too. They are able to dig their tusks into these trees, and it squishes the bark and the wood so much that water comes pouring out of it like a faucet. That's what gives these trees their second nickname, the Tree of Life. It's also just another great example of how elephants are a keystone species. If you don't know what that is, imagine an archway made out of rocks. Take the top rock away, the whole thing would fall apart. Well, that's a keystone. And that's what elephants are for the places that they live. If they weren't here, none of this would work. Beautiful, look at that one. A group of flamingos, all hanging out together like this, is actually called a flamboyance. Ostriches are right there on the hill on the left-hand side. Fastest bipedal animal. They get up to about 40 miles an hour just on those two legs. The largest and the strongest eggs of any egg-laying animal. A grown man could stand on top of one of those eggs and it wouldn't break. They're also quite hefty as far as eggs go. One of those eggs weighs the same as about 2 dozen chicken eggs. We are now heading down towards Warden Wilson's hut. With any luck, we're going to find a couple of Nigerian dwarf goats. I think I already see a couple sitting down there in the front yard. Great pet for somebody like the warden to have. They produce a super sweet milk. They stay pretty small. They're also good lawn mowers. They're the only lawn mowers that he's got. You may also notice that yellow box that's being held up by those two posts. Now out helping save the lives of elephants.